In January 2020, Harry and Meghan announced they would step back from their roles as senior royals, planning to split their time between the UK and North America. The tabloids called it Megxit. The couple called it something closer to survival. A year later, in the Oprah interview, Meghan said she felt suicidal and that she regretted trusting the royal family's promise to protect her. It was one of the most explosive royal interviews in modern memory, and it drew a hard line in the sand. On one side, people who saw a woman finally telling her truth. On the other, people who felt the family had been publicly humiliated on international television. But what happened just this month is different, because this time, the attack didn't come from a tabloid columnist nobody's heard of. It came from someone with a direct line into what's happening behind Highgrove's walls. Reports emerged that ahead of a private meeting at Highgrove, Harry and Meghan were reportedly told not to discuss or post anything about the meeting online. A rare, deliberate attempt at damage control from a family that usually says nothing at all. But then word got out anyway, allegedly through a conversation Martha Stewart had at a dinner with someone in Meghan's California circle. Suddenly, the private meeting wasn't private anymore, and royal watchers who'd been quiet for months came roaring back. That's when commentator Lee Cohen, a US-based royal columnist, stepped in with a piece that's now everywhere. In his column, Cohen didn't hold back. He wrote that Meghan brought endless drama, grievance, and attention-seeking to an institution built on duty, discretion, and service, accusing her of casting a shadow over the final years of the late Queen. He went further, arguing that rather than embracing the position she'd been given, she chose profit and publicity over loyalty, and in doing so, burned every bridge behind her. And then came the line that's now everywhere online. Let that sit for a second. This isn't a source close to the palace. This isn't an official statement. This is one commentator's opinion, but it's an opinion that's now been republished across dozens of outlets, turning a personal column into a viral flashpoint. Just days before Cohen's column dropped, YouGov's latest royal family favorability tracker showed only 19% of Britons now hold a positive view of Meghan, the lowest point recorded since tracking began. Negative sentiment, meanwhile, has climbed to 66%. Numbers like that don't happen by accident. They are the result of years of headlines, interviews, and controversies stacking on top of each other. And they gave Cohen's column something to attach to, a public mood that was already leaning hard against her. Reports also surfaced that the royal family gave no public tribute for Meghan's 45th birthday this month, the second year in a row they stayed silent. To some, that's just palace protocol for a non-working royal. To others, it read as one more deliberate snub in a very long line of them. Online, the reaction to Cohen's piece split almost instantly. Some royal watchers agreed word for word. Others called the language itself despicable, exile, proof that the attacks on Meghan have gone too far, becoming exactly the kind of cruelty her defenders have warned about for years. Royal commentator Shane Watson wrote in the Sunday Times that Meghan will happily return to the UK, not as a chastened outsider, but as part of what he called the Californian business elite, pointing to a strong start to 2026 for her as Everbrand. Two commentators, two completely different stories. One says she should never be allowed back. The other says she's coming back on her own terms, richer, more confident, and less interested than ever in palace approval. That contradiction is the real story here, because it shows just how divided and how loud the commentary around Meghan has become. Nobody actually speaks for the palace. Buckingham Palace itself has stayed silent, as it almost always does. Everything you're hearing is commentary, filling a vacuum the palace refuses to fill. Meanwhile, attention is turning toward the Invictus Games in Birmingham, still roughly a year away, with Harry's ongoing UK security review still unresolved. Whether Meghan attends, and how she's received if she does, may end up being the real test of everything being argued about online right now. For now, the palace stays silent. The commentators keep talking, and the public keeps choosing sides.